There's been a shake-up in top police management. Minister Bheki Cele has made some key appointments, all career officers with many years of experience. The Police and Prison Civil Rights Union spokesperson Richard Mamabolo joins us now in studio. Richard, thank you so much for your time on the program today. So quite a few names that are unfamiliar to the rest of us who don't deal with policing every day. What is your feeling overall about the appointments?
Look, we welcome all the appointments, and in fact, when you look at all these appointments, they all have over 20 years experience within the service. We think that there are people who would obviously add more value. And I think one of the things that we need to appreciate has been the fact that we have been calling for the filling of acting positions within the SAPS. Unfortunately, they did not appoint a new commissioner for KZN. And of course, we think that the Hawks as well as the critical elements need to be filled urgently. So, but generally, for those who have been appointed, we are happy with the decisions. And we think these are people that we can work with in ensuring that the SAPS refocuses itself, especially with crime intelligence. We think that Mr. Jacobs is the right man for the job. We think that he will actually drive the crime intelligence towards focusing on ensuring that police are not always reactive but become more proactive in dealing with crime.
Well, what gives you that impression? I mean, it seems to me the things that, the elements that one requires to be a great crime intelligence head are competence, as it is in many other police departments, competence, as well as honesty, which we haven't seen really in the crime intelligence area.
Look, you remember that Mr. Jacobs was as well demoted by a very, the very person, Mr. Patlani, who has demonstrated to lack credibility as well. And of course, we believe that those were not on the basis of whether his competency was sufficient or not, but was on the basis of him obviously trying to have his people in the Western Cape. And of course, I think POPCRU fought a good struggle there to ensure that the matter is won, and we're now satisfied that he would definitely be the right person. But again, the National Commissioner had spoken out to ensure that, to say rather that they have ensured that the vetting process has been thoroughly ensured that it's standardized and it's actually effective. Because that has always been one of the complaints that we've had, that the vetting process actually, after a person has been appointed into a position, then comes out a lot of stories around them, which obviously would deviate them from doing their jobs. So we think that the process was done. And of course, with the experience they have, we believe that we're on the right path.
Lots of men appointed into senior positions today. I mean, do you feel that that is justified in a modern South African police service in a country where more than half the population is female?
Look, we obviously want to have women leading in top structures, but again, I think one of the things that we obviously need to observe is to ensure that the people who are put there are not put there on the basis of their gender, but on the basis of their competence. I think crime is such a huge challenge that it needs people who have got the right skills to actually ensure that it is fought. And I think when looking at, we're not saying women are capable. Well,
that's exactly what I was going to ask you, because the inference is that women are too incompetent for these jobs, and nor do they have the skills, according to what you are implying.
I'm not implying that. We've had women such as Ria Pierre, who was the commissioner, who was doing well in her job.
Do you really believe that?
No, we definitely do believe that, until, of course, the Marikana issue happened, which I think it's another debate. But there are many women, of course, who occupy senior leadership positions within the SAPS, both national and provincial level. But again, I think what had been done, the process leading towards these appointments have been that they were advertised. And of course, the vetting process, which we spoke about earlier, has been one of the criteria to ensure that these people are appointed.
See, the reason I asked that question is that we know the South African police service in recent years has been a highly masculinized, sometimes hyper-masculinized institution. We know that sexual crimes against women and children have been ignored in many areas. We know that policewomen serving in the force have sometimes been sexually harassed or raped, and there's been no justice for those women. So do you not think that the complement of men being put forward is not going to take the cause of women in the country in general men roll forward?
I think it is not only a woman's role to deal with women issues. I think generally, if women's issues are to be addressed, we need to obviously have men playing a bigger role as well, because after all, it is dominantly men who perpetrate such such violations. And I think so that would obviously should include both sexes. But again, I think with regards to the appointments, from what we get has been that the vetting process, I specifically speak to it because it would then be the dominant factor in determining the kind of person who would be needed to deal with the current challenges we face.
All right, thank you for talking to us. Richard Mamabolo is the POPCRU spokesperson.